Alright, so this is going to be my first episode of Cading. It's going to go down to the very basics in regards to what's for the future. A lot of my videos will actually cover advanced barricading tutorials. Alright, so down to the minimum and beginning. So I'd actually go down to settings. So if you press F1 on your keyboard, you'll want to go to options. My UI looks different because I am playing on an older version or an uncustomized version. For different servers, it will be different. You'll want to go to options and you'll scroll down and you'll see a setting called prop rotation sensitivity. You won't be able to see my mouse cursor, but it's set to 3. I'll just move it here. It's set to 3 there. That's pretty much the standard for a lot of caders, I find, recommended by most. I mean, it can come down to preference, but 3 seems to be what a lot of people use. This has to do with prop rotation, and with smaller props, it allows you to be a little more direct to it, but also with the speed that you have, you can sort of finesse it. I'll show you about practices that you can do, but it also helps in movement of large props as well. Right, and then one other setting that I highly suggest is, so you go to options and you want to, it's at the very top here, always display nail health. So you'll find it on a different tab, perhaps on a different server you're in, but this pretty much allows for, so when you nail props, you'll only get to see the nail health without looking at it. I think just turn it off. It seems to have bugged out. No, okay, there we are. Usually on servers, the UI is better, so not the problem with that phasing out. But pretty much, the default would be if you were to hold shift. However, you could accidentally trigger sticky keys, and the prop health of a nailed prop is pretty much essential if you want to survive. It allows you to communicate to your team if a prop is going to be low and what needs repairing, as well as for you to see if it needs repairing, or you must call for an abandon, especially when it comes to very thin cades. A lot of people aren't paying attention, and you want to be their eyes and ears as well. Okay, so now down to cading. Regarding rotation of props, so how I'm doing this is I'm holding Alt, and if for whatever reason this doesn't work, so I'm holding Alt and moving my mouse around. If for whatever reason this doesn't work, you'll want to go to, it is a default bind, but you'll want to go to console and you'll want to type in Alt, my bad, bind, Alt, +3, plus walk, just like that. You'll then be able to do this, hopefully. And then you can also hold shift and walk around your prop and be able to nail it. This allows for, like, you know, if you're building up high, obviously you don't want to do that. I've seen people having to do that, you know, just let them know if you see that. So just like that, really helpful. Alright, so now going down to cading. So some basic cading rules is you always want to make sure that when you cade with a prop, you don't really want to do this if the zombies are coming in through this way. You always want to make sure that the props are on the inside. This is so that players aren't forced to go around and shoot the zombie and then him only to move over there. Drastically decreases the time that the cade can last. And another thing is having it able to be jumped through. You look at here, I see a lot of people just do this. You know, this probably has to do with them not being able, knowing that they can hold shift to nail down their props. But a zombie can get through that, and it is no good. So, an example of what good cade would look like in terms of it's going to be small, but if you want to keep the team alive, basic, if you got a few props, one, then two. So like that. However, these type of cades aren't recommended. There's definitely better ways. So I will go over different types of cades in the future. But really the most basic cade would simply be that. You just put a bench, and in some cases layer that bench. There can be some pretty advanced cades out there that you can use this. So example, if you make what's called a U cade, you'll have like these layers right here, and then multiple props around it. I'd say this is more of a basic cade actually, so I'll just go over this real quick. You'll have it something like here, like that. I'm just going to use this prop since I don't have any other. So pretty much like that. And then you can reinforce the top. I'm going to go over different techniques to improve the speed at which you can barricade. Obviously, this type of cade is not good. You want to keep it symmetrical, you want to keep it even, because a lot of props have different health. I believe this one only has 900. Let's see. Some of these props have bugged. Well, on this version. Yeah. There's somewhere on here. Not much you can do. I believe this one has 916. The maximum health a prop can have is 1160. Usually those are very big props. This chair right here has 1160 when you nail it 4 times. So nailing props add some HP to the prop up to its maximum. So for benches, they're the most balanced prop in the game you can find, especially on mall maps. I do remember them having some 800 or 900 health, but now it's 525 on the first thing. Okay, my UI is bugging out. Don't understand that. But it'll have 520 health, 600, 650, and then 700 or 675 and 750. And you always want to nail your props 4 times. I think that's about it. And then I'm going to go over techniques for cading as well. So if you're going to make something with angles, perhaps for my future barricading video, you may see me do different types of techniques to get different angles. Building a cade, a lot of it is about speed and efficiency. You want to make sure that you don't want to sacrifice in the cade for time. You want a good balance of both. So you want to get it done early, especially if the team is relying on you. I'll do some cades on OBJ maps, objective maps, where a lot of people struggle in building a cade quick enough. The whole team dies because zombie spawns are usually 30 seconds when they reach a certain designated area. So anyway, so for 45-degree angles, you can do something like this. You can bump it up against a wall and get a nice little angle here. That definitely helps, especially for newer players. For a little more experienced players, they could probably eyeball it. I practice this a lot, and I am able to get the angles right. Before, it's okay to use angles and whatnot. I still use them. They save on time, especially on servers where you might have a bit of lag issue. I'm on single player, so obviously this is going to be very smooth for me, especially with how it operates on this server, or on this version. Let's see. I'll get some more props. So you have like a bench like this, and you want to keep it straight, obviously. Oh shit. Well, like that. Best tip I can give you, some that a lot of people don't utilize, but they should, is the walls around you. You just bump it right up against this wall here, tap it a bit, and boom, you got a pin straight bench right there. And then again, you also want to make sure that's sort of on the inside, so zombies can't just hit it for free around this corner. That's also depth of mini cades. You always want to make sure that you're utilizing the most space around you, and that zombies can't hit it for free. So for example, in here, I mean, you don't really have much choice because of how small it is, but shelves are something I will cover real soon here. But inside, people have it right up against it. Zombies are able to just hit it. What you can actually do is you can space it out a bit, and even set it there in the middle. In some cases, you want to make a cade that is just barely. I might get stuck in this prop here. Here we go. Like that. It allows for people who use melee weapons to be able to hit. Zombies can hit through too. You just have to be careful. It gives points for the medics, but they won't hit the cade as often, and that's a good thing. You want to keep the cade alive, especially if it's going to be your only one. So, example, this is going to be like a last cade. I wouldn't recommend this as the last cade. I'm going to start going over shelves now. So for shelves, they have some cool properties to them. They're, I would say, the second most popular, not the most seen, but most popular prop that you'll find in zombie survival. And it'd have to be in due regard of people not cading properly with them. So what you can do is crouch to the middle here and walk through. And that could be a big problem. A lot of new players I see will just like fix it by nailing prop to prop, something you shouldn't do, because once this prop breaks, that prop goes with it, and it unnails as well sometimes. And that's not good at all. So never nail prop to prop unless you're layering a cade, something I'll go over just right now, I guess. So if you're layering a cade, and let's say this prop is in the air, so just set it like that. So your prop is in the air, and you're like, can't really nail this to the ground per se. So it's fine to hit it here if zombies are attacking this side. Maybe if the cade relied on being sort of a V-cade, something I will cover in my advanced cading tutorial, something like that, But regarding these props, so you can jump through the middle, but the way to counteract that is give it a slight angle. So even the slightest can work, so long as they can't get through. In this case, like they may be able to walk through it. It can allow them to get hit more, or they might hit the team more. I'll go over shark cades. Shark cades utilize this a lot. Another angle that I don't see very common, but is probably a cool one, is another thing I hate about props is their sway. So regarding different angles, you can actually slant it. So if you slant it, you can't walk through the middle at all. And it's probably one of my favorites in terms of if you've got limited space and you could slant the prop, that works too. Or slant these. So of course, maybe run it up against the wall, keep it straight. You want to nudge it, and then slight angle, boom. These are very popular props due to the fact you can shoot through them, and they have a lot of health. So when you nail them all, I believe this only go to 11 or 1006, 1007. Yeah, pretty high health for a prop. This goes to 1160. Again, highest HP you can get for a prop, so you can get massive props. Sometimes you can like drag a car on over, and they only have 1160. Anyway, with that, let's see what else needs to be covered. So, with when you're barricading, you always want to make sure, again, that props are on the inside, like this, not on the outside, poking out like this. Zombies can hit it, no one can shoot them. It doesn't do any good for anybody except for the zombies. So you always want to practice cading. So right here, I've just barely sort of abused the little hitbox of this vending machine. with this corner here, and my player model is too big. The one thing to note is that all models of the zombies, except for fast zombies, I think they're a little smaller, and a few others, especially for boss zombies, they can be pretty custom, but that's regardless from the point. Besides head crabs, nothing else can fit through here. Maybe, no, fast zombies can't fit through here. There's some bugs that they might be able to perform because their hitbox is smaller in height than zombies, but not in width. So you have it like this. This is personally one of my favorites you can do with the Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, if a sigil spawns in there, it's kind of a popular place to cade next to other spots known as like Buffalo and Anime, which you may hear. So this is one of my favorites here. You can't fit through it at all. Zombies are forced to walk in or have to, they may attack the players more, and if you have medic, that's a good thing. They're not attacking the cade, they're attacking the players, which can be healed infinitely, so long as we have med ammo and healers. So with this, very easy to make and very strong as well. You can have like single prop cades, and they can last a very long time. If you've got shooters, a single prop cade can last a very long time, surprisingly. So you can find something called a key card on this map to open the vault. And, I'll see a lot of this. I also see this, which is okay. This is not okay. This is okay. This is also really good. It just takes a lot of time. Personally, running up against the wall, and then boom. Can't fit through that. That'll be your trick for zombie survival. And then one thing is raising props. So what I see a lot is people just nailing it to the ground, and then hey, fast zombies might be able to get to the top. So they just add a prop there. And that doesn't help anyone at all. It uses up a prop, and in some cases it's just unnecessary. What you can actually do is you could just raise the prop a bit. Boom, done. That's all you have to do. Move the entire prop, not add props to it. It should be self-explanatory, but sometimes we all forget, or we don't realize. That's what this guide is for. And then one other thing is, again, raising props. So, like that. Zombies, beefing up your cade. Zombies will attack this first before attacking the main cade. That's keeping everyone alive. If you can layer this pretty well without inhibiting any damage done to the zombies, it's perfect. So something like that. I think that's going to be it for my basics for guide cading. I don't think there's really anything else to add. I, for one, am still learning on cading. A big trouble that I have is I spend way too long cading. I'll be like end of wave 4, and I'm still cading, and luckily it's low population. But again, if it were like high population, obviously it's not going to be very well because I spent too long on the main cade only for it to fall, and I don't have a backup cade. You want to be as efficient as possible in cading your speed, as well as being safe as possible. You want to keep the team alive, and you don't want to throw away props as well. I think it's going to be it. I don't think there's really anything else to add, but I will begin making more videos on the different types of cades. I will be actually going off a list that I will link in the first video. Alright, see you guys.